I joined DWFI in August of 2022, soon after I graduated from my graduate program. I was considering a few positions, but eventually I chose DWFI because it allowed me to explore the public health side of environmental issues. In that, I can explore subjects that fit into a broad category. What I enjoy most at DWFI is that it's very close to an academic setup, but housed outside of traditional academic setting. Everyone is very interested in what you do and friendly, which means a lot when you have moved halfway across the country to be here. Economics and demography relate to water and food security in many ways. When we talk about food and water security, we are talking about feeding people and being able to do it for a long time. Demography allows for the understanding of where some of the problem areas are going to be, and economics allows for quantifying these and trying to manage allocating scarce resources in the most efficient and effective way. I did study how climate and environmental changes affect humans and their movements in graduate school. When I joined the Pennsylvania State University for my graduate studies, I had a very clear vision of what I wanted to do. That was small island nations and their adaptation to climate change. Large industrial countries dictate things that small economies have to do to get aid, and these requirements sometimes doesn't make a lot of sense. For example, there will be a push for mitigating climate change, but to do that, small countries need to adapt first. This is what motivated me. However, because of data limitations and because of the grant that I was working for, this sort of morphed into looking at extreme disasters in the United States. This is also one of the reasons why I deliberately looked at inequality issues in extreme weather events, exposure and recovery in my dissertation. If I am to explain my current project on valuing the health and economic impacts of nitrate contamination in groundwater, the larger project goal is to quantify how much of a health and economic burden nitrate contamination is going to be for Nebraskans, who mostly source their drinking water from groundwater. I am first looking to explain what health impacts it has, and then looking to see what it means in terms of healthcare costs. I will try and find at which level of nitrate do health effects start to get exacerbated, and calculate how many people might be at risk. Not all people who are at risk will be sick, so then I have to find out a way to estimate how much of the population who gets sick can attribute their sickness to nitrate levels. Eventually, I will use standard costs to quantify what that means for people in terms of their health costs. There are many improvements that I have seen in my field that contribute to food and water security. One of which is better understanding the problem and understanding uncertainty. Climate change and global warming has managed to shock the system. Growing periods have changed and unexpected calamities happen to disrupt production. All of these have some solution or potential for a good solution. What we lack is the understanding of when uncertainties have to be taken into account. And I think we have come a long way in understanding what these risks are. As an environmental economist, I understand water and food security, perhaps in the same way any other person would. But as opposed to an engineer who would think in terms of building something, I think of food security from a resource allocation point of view. If we think about water allocation, which is an important determinant of food security, As an economist, I would think about how do we allocate water efficiently to the unit that generates the largest marginal benefit. As an environmental economist, I go one step further and put constraints so that we don't create massive costs to other parts of the economy. I chose my career path as an environmental economist and a demographer because I love it. Every day thinking about how to answer a problem and looking at patterns in the data is something I think I will never tire of.